Hello and welcome to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. This is your magnetic business podcast. This is the podcast for women entrepreneurs who want to grow a magnetic and soul-aligned business without burning out or selling their soul. My name is Maggie. I'm your business mentor and human design expert with nearly 20 years of business experience and spiritual learning. I help you turn that messy momentum into aligned strategy that actually converts. This show is where we blend spiritual self-trust, practical business moves, and the power of your unique energetic blueprint. So if you're ready to build a business that feels exactly like you and sells like crazy, you are in the right place. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie. I am your host, your Chaos to Clarity business mentor, and your human design expert. And today I am so excited because we're talking about being delusional. And we're talking about why being delusional is actually a superpower in your business. So first I want to share a little bit about the birth story of my son, who at the time of recording this, he just had his birthday. He is an earth, wind, fire baby. So for everyone who understands that reference, yes, we remember the 21st of September. I remember a lot of those moments. But here's the thing. When I first went to the doctor, when I was pregnant with him, and she shared with me his estimated date of arrival, she said the 19th of September, and I immediately laughed and I said, oh, wouldn't that be so funny if he was born on the 21st? He could be an earth, wind, fire baby. How fun would that be? And we had a little laughing moment and, we moved on. But here's the thing. I knew that entire pregnancy that he was going to be born on the 21st of September. And there was not a shadow of, I shouldn't say not a shadow of a doubt, because the week before he was born, I definitely had a ton of pre-birth pains, and start-stop, labor. So it was a time. It was a time to be alive, for real. That's what happens when you're trying to birth a 10-pound bowling ball. But all that to say, I knew that he would be born on the 21st. Now, call it a mother's instinct, call it being delusional, whatever you want, right? But here's the thing, my subconscious just knew. And it was honestly the weirdest thing, because when the birthing pains started happening early, I was like, no, you're supposed to come on the 21st, even though I also wanted him to come early because he was so big. And I was so uncomfortable towards, the last 2 or 3 weeks of pregnancy are so, for me anyway, were so uncomfortable that I was like, please, I feel like an Oompa Loompa, kind of just waddling around. So how does this equate to business? Now, if you saw my stories a couple days ago, at least if you're listening to this around the 21st of September, or around, the week of the 21st of September, I posted on my Instagram stories about, tapping into your subconscious and what that feels like. And for me, the story of Jackson's birth and his birth date was very much subconsciously rooted in me. I just knew. And there have been other times where I've just known, with my photography business. Very much so. I was living in Spain. It was 2006, spring in Sevilla. Feria was happening. I happened to walk past these 3 women and I took this photo of them. They're very beautiful, all fancy, dressed up. And I took that picture and I was like, this is it. I'm going to be a photographer. And I love photography, and I have loved photography for a long time. Very artsy fartsy. So it wasn't a surprise, but also it was very kind of oh my gosh, really? I'm not going to school for photography, for art. Like, I'm not in college for art. I am in college for a Spanish degree. So it was one of those things that was like, it was such a defining moment for me, very similar to Jackson's birth story, right? And how, like, I just knew he was going to come on the 21st. So, when we think about this through the lens of your business, what the heck does this all mean for business? Yes, it's all well and good that I predicted my baby's birth date. It's all well and good that I, knew I was going to be a photographer, and I did turn that into a business, right? I've been a photographer. I've owned a photography business for almost 20 years. So, this is something that if you are not convicted and delusional about your business, where there is no plan B, it's plan A. Plan A is what we're rocking with, and we're going to pivot as needed. We're going to add on, we're going to take away, but plan A, this is the life that I am living. Here is how I'm moving forward. This is what I'm doing. If you are not that convicted about your business, if you're not that delusional about, well, of course this is going to work, why wouldn't it work? If you're not that level of delusion, I need you to hop on the delusional bus and get that delusional. But here's the thing. When we think about business, you need to decide that something is happening, right? Whether that is signing clients or hitting the revenue goals or filling a program, whatever that thing is, and step into that certainty, that knowing, that delusional state of like, well, of course I'm going to sign 4 clients before mid-November. Why would that? No questions asked. Yes, we're doing that. We're moving forward, right? And then we'll continue to sign 4 clients every single quarter because that's just what is happening. So that's what I want for you, right? Being in that aligned conviction where your body and your subconscious and your conscious self are like, hold on, this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. There might be bumps, but it's okay. Like, click, got the seatbelt, locked and loaded. That's what you need to bring to the table in order to succeed, right? And now I know I've talked before about success and like the definition of success and blah, 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 but you get to decide what success looks like for you. For me, in this season of my business, of my life, I have decided that having 4 spaces available every single quarter for one-on-one clients is the definition of success based on all of the other things that I have going on. So you need to decide that for yourself. You need to decide what is that thing? How hard do you want to work for it? What do you need to do to be in that position? And I will say, the more delusional I have gotten in my businesses, the more profitable I have been. Case in point, when I bought the yoga studio and when I realized that I needed yoga teachers because I did not want to be teaching 25 classes a week, that was exhausting for me. And then on top of like running a yoga studio, it was just not, I could not physically keep up with the demand. So we created a yoga teacher training. I wrote the book, quite literally a 200-page novel, and off we went. And there was never any question. I always knew that people would sign up for this because why wouldn't they sign up for this? Everyone in my community was asking to learn more about yoga. Everyone in my community was excited to bring on new teachers, right? So like there was never a question, and it didn't matter necessarily to me how big or small the class sizes were of the teachers I was teaching to teach yoga. That didn't matter, but I knew there was a need. And the same thing when I stepped into business coaching and consulting, doing this mentoring, coaching, consulting business, right? And knowing that people need to understand how to generate leads. They need to understand how to place their offers. They need to understand how to run their business, how to navigate the back end of their business, knowing that, yes, for every one client hour, you probably have 3 to 5 hours of overhead work to be done. People don't realize that. So that's where I knew when I stepped into business coaching. And I had a lot of people tell me, don't be a business coach. Don't be a business coach. And I was kind of like, why? I love business. I love talking about business. I love strategizing with people. I love helping people figure out ways to run their business more streamlined. Why would I not do this? So I didn't listen to them, right? Kind of like I didn't listen to the doctor when she said, oh, of course this baby is going to come early. I mean, like, I listened to her and I was like, yay, hopefully, because I'm really uncomfortable. But also, like, that subconscious level of me just knew. I just knew that he was not going to come early. In the photo business, I just knew that people were going to book with me for photography, right? In the yoga studio, I knew people were going to continue to come to classes. I knew people were going to opt into the yoga teacher training. For the business coaching, I knew that people needed this help. And like on a subconscious level, I knew, and I know that people will continue to need this. When I added in human design, it was literally, for me, bringing in human design was a further just like big, huge check mark in my business. To bring in human design was a way for me to further clarify, further convict myself to being like, yeah, I'm all in on this. This is so good. So many people need this, especially women who are more heart-centered, who are searching for a less masculine way to sell and to be profitable, but also to learn how to use your energy in the way it was meant to be used, right? That's really what human design helps us do. So I know it feels a little woo to sit in delusion, to sit in aligned conviction of your offers. But I will say, like I said before, the more delusional I have been, the more profitable I have been, which is so strange. And as I was preparing for this episode, I took a little bit of time to reflect on like when different points in time where I was just delusional with like, of course this is going to work. And every time that I could kind of bring up in my memory bank, it was true. Like, I have made the most money when I'm the most delusional. And I'm not necessarily saying like, I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow. It's not that level of delusion. It's the level of delusion of like, oh yeah, of course I know people need what I have. Of course people are going to sign up for the things that I have. And of course, talking with them, connecting with them, utilizing my skills and sharing what I have to share with them is going to make them realize that they need what I have. And the skills that I have from literally 18 plus years in sales, right? Selling photography sessions, selling yoga sessions, selling yoga teacher training, selling business coaching and mentoring, and everything in between. Of course, they're going to want to learn from me. Like, there is no other thought in my mind. It is literally plan A. This is working. And if it's quote unquote not working, well, now it becomes my job to navigate what are the thoughts that I'm thinking. Because as much as you may not realize your thoughts matter, your thoughts really matter. And last week, as I was just meditating and kind of just reflecting on where I am in business, what I wanted to be doing in the last quarter of the year. And side note, make sure you are subscribed, because next week I'm talking about what I'm doing in the last 100 days of 2025, which is crazy to think that we are in the last 100 days of the year, but how I'm setting myself up for success, but also to be able to not have to work as hard during the holidays. So the first step to that is figuring out, what are the things that I am convicted in? What are the things that I am aligned with? What am I available for? What am I not available for? Because that's also a really important thing to think about, especially if you're a woman in business who tends to be a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser. Because there's going to be everything coming in at you to say, no, do this thing, do that thing, don't do that thing. It's all going to come at you because the universe is going to continually try to test you. So when you can sit in that alignment, when you can sit in that delusion of like, obviously this is working for me, your brain starts to see the proof that this is working for you. If, on the other hand, you sit in the proof of, oh, this is hard, this is not working, I don't like this, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I think I'll go eat worms type of thing, that is going to happen because your thoughts become your reality. And when you're working with your mindset, you can't just switch from one to, you can switch from one to the other, but there's also going to be those other supporting thoughts of like, well, you're thinking this delusional thought of, I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow, but I have no proof of it, so therefore it's wrong. So it kind of winds up being a double negative, I think, right? It winds up being negative. We'll leave it at that, right? An English major, I am not. So anyway, if you are thinking about how you're going to handle the rest of your year, and if you're going into this last part of September 2025 thinking, I can't believe I didn't hit the goals that I wanted. I can't believe I didn't do the things. I can't believe this offer isn't converting. Now is the time for you to book an offer audit or offer alignment call with me, and let's go through your offer, because I promise you can turn things around in the last quarter of the year and not have to like work yourself to the bone. I am proof of that very thing. So this is your call to action to book an offer alignment call with me. The link is below in the show notes. You can hop on my calendar. I've opened up my calendar. It's pretty wide open right now because I want you to be able to step into your best self leading into the last half of 2025, but also to get yourself prepared for 2026, because right now is the best time to, number one, figure out what you're going to do or not do for Black Friday, prepare for the end of the year, business-wise and personal-wise, and then prepare for the beginning of the year, business-wise and personal-wise. So it's not wooey to live in this level of conviction and delusion, because you are setting yourself up to see all of those good things working for you. And I tell my clients this all the time. It's okay to live in that delusion, because that delusion is going to help you step into everything you need to come after that. The strategy will feel so much easier being built if you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to charge. This is what I need. This is everything that's in it. It feels aligned. It feels exciting to me, because when it's exciting to you, it will be exciting to everybody else. And that's, if you're not that excited about your offer, that's also why you need an offer alignment, because we can go through those things and we can pinpoint the places where, no, maybe you're not as excited about this as you were at the beginning of the year, but you're excited about this other little nuanced part. Let's hone in on that, because quite honestly, the more specific, the more simple you can make things, the better it's going to sell. If you think about all the freebies, all the things, think about all the things that you've bought for your business. I would bet that most of them you purchased because they're going to make your life easier. They're going to make your life more simple. That's what you want to do. And honestly, right now, moving into the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026, it's almost here. People want simplicity. People want to know how you did it. You don't have to go into all the nitty-gritty details, but they want more of you being authentic. They want to see you convicted. They want to see you excited. They want to see you being delusional, going, holy crap, that's really working for her. They want to see that. Okay. So, like I said, if this level of conviction in your own offers, if you want this excitement, now is your chance to book an offer alignment call. I've opened up a ton of spots, and this call will get you energetically and strategically aligned so that you can sell with certainty, so that you can step into the delusion of, oh my God, this is so exciting. I can't believe this is happening for me, right? And if you're interested in working together, I do have, right now, at the time of recording this, I have 4 spots available for one-on-one mentoring. One is in the process of being spoken for, so they're going fast. There's only 3 left for the end of the year. We work together for 4 months in the magnetic mentoring method. And in this mentoring, we go through your offer, we go through your sales pages, we go through how you're generating leads, where you're generating leads, who you're connected with, who you're connecting with. We go through it all and we lay it all out in a way that feels really good for your energy. We use your human design to base a lot of this on, because your human design tells us all the things that are going to help keep you in that level of delusional excitement for your business. So go ahead and book in an offer audit call. That is the best way to start the way, to pave the way to generating more leads, but also to working with me. So let me know what resonated for you. Slide right into my Instagram inbox. You can find me at Maggie Lynn, Lynn mentoring. Or you can find me at the Chaos to Clarity podcast, both on Instagram. Come and find me. Let's be besties. I'm so excited to hear what resonated for you, and I will see you in the next episode.